freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round one recap for this week's John Deere Classic and other things. Joining me to break it all down, Kyle Porter is here. KP, hello to you. Happy Thursday.
Hello, Rick. Question I was thinking about today, who are you more confident in terms of getting a top 10 in any event they play in, Scottie Scheffler or Zhang?
Oh, my God. Zhang. Probably Rose. Is that wrong?
I mean, no, it's your opinion.
Oh, she seems just really. I don't know if again, I'm not as deep into the LPGA tour as I should be, but it feels like it feels like a tour that's pretty top heavy. Like I think that the top 20 or 25 are all phenomenal, but I'm not sure it kind of reminds me of the Corn Ferry Tour a little bit, where I'm not sure it's as deep as the PGA Tour is, which makes me think the answer is Rose, but I could be very wrong there.
Well, it seems like in traditionally in women's sports, I don't know why this is, but it seems this is going to be a dumb take because I'm mostly going off of like the NCAA tournament or maybe tennis, but it seems like there's not as much variability in terms of who wins, right? I say that at men's tennis, there's only been like 3 guys that have won over
Like
the last
20 years.
20 years. So that might be an idiotic take, but it does seem like I would be fascinated on data on this. I guess like it seems like you perform closer to what your baseline is more often than on the men's side. I don't know if that's actually true. That's my perception of when right in like in women's basketball, we say it a lot. It's like chalk, 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 chalk in the women's NCAA tournament. Now golf is probably less like that, but it does seem more so that way than on the men's side.
Yeah, so the ladies are underway. In fact, Rose has got 3 holes under her belt. She's 1 under. There's still a lot of golf to be played. This coverage, what's the coverage situation today? Are they coming on? Because they've been on Peacock, but are they going to Golf Channel or NBC at some point?
Yeah, I think we're headed over to prime time. Rose in prime time at Pebble.
Yeah, that's going to be sick.
Let's go.
That's going to be really sick. They're on USA right now. They've been on Peacock all day. And I think, are they on USA for the rest of the night? Yeah, I think they are. Okay.
Yeah, it's 5 to 10. So I guess that's 6 to 11 Eastern.
Okay, 6 to 11 Eastern. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so they're still, Lydia Ko and Rose Zhang have played 3 holes. So like you're going to get some phenomenal stuff here for the next couple of hours. So a lot more golf still to be played at Pebble Beach. We are much closer to being done in Silvis for the John Deere Classic. And just like everyone suspected, KP, Jonas Blixt is front running this bad boy through 18 holes, a 9 under 62, in which he did make a bogey on number 5. He made 2 separate eagles, and Jonas Blixt shoots a 29 on his second 9.
Sure, the Zoo Boy.
Sure.
Hasn't won an individual event in 10 years, so...
Yeah, let's play the game. This is harder than normal. 3 PGA Tour wins. Name them.
Well, I looked it up. It's... I had to write an article for CBSSports.com. It's Zurich.
Yep.
I actually don't even remember, but it's Zurich, Greenbrier. Did he win Zurich twice as an individual and as a...
No, there's only been one guy who's done that.
It was somebody weird.
I think it's Billy Horschel.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't.
Who won it as a partner and won it as an individual. I believe is the only guy who's done that.
Okay. Well, I don't remember the other one that Jonas Blixt won.
I will. Okay, I'll give you a little hint. It was because you have to get the proper name. So it was also an event that Emiliano Grillo won. Does that help?
Shriners?
Nope. Kind of close. That time of year. Emiliano Grillo just until recently just had 1 PGA Tour win. It was this event that I'm referring to, I think in 2015. Blixt won it in 2020.
Fries.com?
Fries.com. Yeah. Fries.
Oh,
So 2012 Fries.com,
Give me that
2013
trophy.
Fire, 2017 Zurich with Cam Smith. That was the playoff over Scott Brown and Kevin Kisner. I think that was when Kisner holed out like in the dark to either end that playoff or get into something strange. I don't remember the details, but it was that year.
Jonas Blixt and Cam Smith is a kind of a strange thing to begin with.
Yes. Yeah. That was, but yeah, Cam Smith, no offense to Jonas Blixt, but like they went in separate directions after.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Zhang just birdied her 4th hole as well. So I'm about to tweet out the 2000 Pebble leaderboard where Tiger's up 15 and just say like, hey, this is what's coming. Great day for Jonas Blixt. Kind of joined at the top by Grayson Murray, who's still playing.
Nah, he just made bogey on 18, so he is 7 under par. 2 shots off the lead. How about this? Stop me when I've hit the real lead, okay?
Jonas, I mean, this tournament's different, right? Like JT Poston shot 62 in the first round last year and went wire to wire. So I don't know. I mean, I have a number in mind, and we'll get there, but this is not it, but it might be it. I feel I don't love talking about the real lead in like non big boy tournaments. That worries me.
Jonas Blixt 9 under, Grayson Murray 7 under, the group at 6 under.
Here we go.
This has got to be the number in mind. Grayson Sig, Garrick Higo, Adam Schenk, Nate Lashley, Richie Warinsky, and still on the golf course, Cameron Young.
Yeah, Cam Young. You know, I was just writing about him. I think, Rick, I'd be curious your opinion on this, actually. Not that I'm not curious about all your other opinions also, but just from your perspective, I think Cam Young has the most to gain this week out of I don't know. That might not be right. I did write that I think he is one of the players that's closest to having the most to gain, which also means there's a lot to lose over the next 3 days. He putted out of his mind today, but that wasn't the only thing he did. He was really good across the board. I'm very excited for his next 3 days. I think he can kickstart his summer. I think he can reignite the Ryder Cup talk. I just think he's got a lot on the line over the next 3 days, more so than maybe some other guys that are kind of near the top of this leaderboard.
Well, it's obviously all relative, but because you have guys in this field who are looking for their first career PGA Tour victory, whose entire trajectories would change. So it's all relative. But I like this take because if you think about it, we are pretty far removed from like the unanimous Cam Young Rookie of the Year conversation where he was dominant without a victory. He is probably on the short list of best players on tour without a win. Those rumblings are going to start to get louder. And anytime that you go through a caddy change and grab one of the 5 or 6 premier caddies on the tour and you don't immediately have success, people start to question it. So I like this take. It's obviously relative, but it does feel like an interesting moment for Cam Young to maybe grab a victory, right the ship here, and launch into the rest of the year.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because we thought of him as maybe like Scottie Scheffler, right? Where it's okay, great, hasn't won yet, gets a new caddy, maybe that'll be the turning point, but it might be more like Tommy Fleetwood, right? Who hasn't, and that's a bad comp because Tommy Fleetwood's a very good player, but hasn't won yet on the PGA Tour. And I thought he would maybe land somewhere between those two in terms of PGA Tour wins, but it hasn't. I mean, listen, ton of time. We're still very early in this thing, but at some point, you know, we were saying this about Scheffler. You're like, you got to go do it. And then Scheffler made us look like idiots because he's like one of the 3 best players of the last 10 years. But
he said he has to go do it, and he did. You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. That's we deserve the credit for that. But
there's a very normal sport thing happening at Pebble Beach right now.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to screenshot it as I'm talking right now.
So take a sec. So Lydia Ko on the tee of 5, straight, like, I mean, I think it found the hosel and almost took a woman's face off, and then there are about 15 people. They're all sticking their heads into a bush trying to find her golf ball, and she has just re-teed, and that one's not much better.
It's I think it's hard to describe like what is happening here. It's not good, and it's very funny, and it's very, very not normal. I mean, these people are like staring into, like, if you if you were just watching television, just flipping channels, and you saw this out of context, you'd be like, what in the hell is going on?
The bush is so dense that you can't really even like get into it. So it's just 10 or 12 people looking intently at it and hoping to spot a white ball somewhere. I don't believe they have found it yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Putting the bow on Cam Young here. So he is going to have 3 feet for birdie on 17. That's a par 5. So he's likely to get to 7 under. So I don't know what the odds are, but I imagine when we get to the odds board here in a couple of minutes, Cam Young's name is going to be at the top of the list, which is going to put at least some bit of pressure. I don't know if he'll feel it. I don't know if he cares, KP, but he will very likely be the favorite through 18 holes.
Yeah, he will. And yeah, I mean, I think that's part of why I wrote like he's got a lot to gain and a lot to lose, right? Because and maybe that's not true on Wednesday night, but I think it is true now because now you're the favorite. You've shot a good round. You know, I was looking back at his numbers, Rick. He's been not bad, but for him bad, and just like very mediocre since the Masters. And it's basically everything except for driver. Driver's been, I'd say, for anybody else, great. For him, pretty good. But everything else has been just kind of all over the place. The putting's been bad, but the iron play and his short game hasn't really been that much better. It's been a lot messier than I envisioned with, you know, grabbing Paul Tesori and kind of jumping into, it felt like a catapult year. You know, he was one of the darlings of major season last year, along with Cam Smith and with Fitzpatrick. And it just hasn't translated, and that's golf, and that's going to happen. But you'd like to see him get it going ahead of the Open, going back to England this year.
Yeah, one of the prolific things about him was being such a great driver, but also having the short game touch and the ability to putt, which is rare, right? It's the difference between Cam Champ and Cam Young. You know, being able to smash it's one thing. Having that short game does not usually come with that other skill set. So it was exciting. We'll see if he can kind of right the ship here this week. The co-favorites heading into the week were Denny McCarthy and Russell Henley. They have done their job through 18. Denny McCarthy, a 3 under 68. Russell Henley, a 2 under 69. So neither of them played themselves out of the tournament. We can start here with Denny. Was 4 under through his first 12 holes of the day. He did make one bogey on his fourth to last hole of the day, but Denny right back in position here. No worries.
Yeah. So you don't think 2 unders is out of it?
No, I don't think so. Right. I
4.
mean,
he's 3 under, right?
Denny's 3, Russell's 2. I mean, Denny's in a tie for 20th, and you know, the real lead might be 7 or 8. No, I don't think 2 or 3 unders out of it. Right? I mean, you don't have to go wire to wire here.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking. Yeah, that's probably a dumb thing to say. I guess in my head, I'm just thinking, hey, you got to get to like 20, probably 18, 19, 20. That's kind of what wins this tournament or has won it over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And if you're Russell Henley, that means you need 18 more. So you basically have to shoot 365s, which we'll get to him. That's not out of the question. It makes your last 3 days tougher. Like to me, you need to be in the Cam Young range of like 4, 5, 6, just to take some pressure off of those last 3 days. But yeah, Denny was fine. He was good. My focus was more on Henley just because I had him in like 27 bets going into the week.
Well, he did kind of the Henley thing, which was 7th off the tee,
Oh.
4th on approach, 83rd with the flat stick. He lost 3 strokes back to the field there. Captain of Team No Putt this week, but that's the Henley blueprint in which he'd actually been putting better recently. But this is absolutely within the range of outcomes for him.
The putting was so bad. It was so bad. He was so good from tee to green. I think he's your candidate for bounce back over the next couple of days, maybe be within 2 or 3 going into Sunday. And, the problem is you might have like 10 people ahead of him if he's 2 or 3 back, just because of how bunched up this leaderboard gets. So, I thought it was a decent round for Henley, but not a great one. He needed to capitalize on some great tee to green play.
The other notable would be Ludwig Aberg. We talked about him as just being kind of one of the interesting storylines, the things to keep an eye on for this week. He has 1 hole to play. He's playing the 18th hole right now. He's about to tee off. He's 3 under par. That's a tie for 20th. So if he can find a way to make birdie on 18, though 18 has been pretty difficult, he can get to 4 under. So your assessment of Aberg through what is just 17 holes?
Yeah, I think it's been good. Not great. He had a drive on 11 where he kind of pulled it. I think he thought it was out of bounds, but it wasn't, and he played it back in. Ended up making bogey there, which is, for him, it's like, man, that's the strength. And when you lose I think he lost a stroke off the tee there.
Yeah, he also had to not only punch it out, he had to hit it backwards. So
yeah.
He went from 154 yards to the hole to 166 yards to the hole. So not great.
Not good. Does that count against his approach play? How does that work?
This is such a great question and such a nerdy answer that I'm going to have to give you on this. So there was I don't know how they do it now, but there used to be a time where punch outs would be exempt from strokes gained approach. Now, the problem had been that the way they determine a punch out is your location in a straight line to the pin, and then depending on what that angle is. So basically, a straight line to the pin from your location, let's say 90 degrees, that's definitely a punch out. 80 degrees, that's definitely a punch out. 70, is that a punch out? What about 60, 40, and 50, right? So there has been issues on this, but in theory, that probably, because it was a literal backwards punch out, that probably did not impact his strokes gained approach.
It did not. He was plus 0.4 on that hole. Yeah. And I think it gets applied to it just gets tacked on to the off the strokes gained off the tee, right?
It is a negative. Yeah, it is an increased negative off the tee, is essentially
because you can't just have that number disappear, and so
it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. So they just apply it to because you and that's the right way to do it because you put yourself in that spot off the tee. It's not like you're what would be interesting is if how do you do it if somebody tries to hit one through a tree. And this is like why strokes gained isn't perfect and is a tool, but is not the whole thing. You hit one off a tree and it bounces back 60 yards. And so it looks like you hit it backward. I mean, you can't manually go through each one of these. I don't know. That's an interesting scenario that probably only you and I care about.
Right. There's also an issue where it's not technically a punch out, but the whole would dog leg severely. So the shot tracker sees, oh, well, he hit that 45 degrees from where he's at. That must have been a punch out, but it actually wasn't. So yeah, there are some that's 9 levels deep into nerdy golf stuff there.
Well, I was going to say, can you imagine being a ShotLink software developer?
Oh,
you'd be like, you think we think golf is a stupid sport. Those guys are like, this is the dumbest sport that's ever been invented. How you want us to keep track of this just preposterousness every day? Yeah. We should have one of those people on. That'd be amazing.
It'd be just hate their lives. Just
there's probably like all kinds of NDAs involved, but I would love to speak to one of those gentlemen or ladies who runs the ShotLink development.
Yeah. So Aberg is currently playing 18. He's in the fairway there, and we'll see if he can get to 4 under par. Cam Young did indeed get to 7 under. He's playing 18 as well. So here's what we'll do, KP. We will zoom out on the other side. We'll take a look at the odds board. But first, we are going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in Ford Championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
And we're back. So here's the leaderboard up to the moment. Jonas Blixt, 9 under par, 62. Grayson Murray in at 7 under. Cam Young playing 18, also at 7 under. A gaggle of names at 6 under, including Grayson Sigg, Garrick Higo, Adam Schenk, Nate Lashley, Richie Warinsky. Which reminds me, KP, I imagine momentarily we will be getting the Mark Immelman victory lap on Garrick Higo, which will absolutely
not backfire.
Make his demise certain. Yeah.
Didn't he have Shank also?
He has Shank to win, Higo top 40, Emiliano Grillo over Cam Young. That was not bad, but that's not going to work out so good. And Taylor Moore to win. So yeah, so he's got a couple of things that could go sideways here.
Lydia Ko's putting for 7 on the par 3, by the way.
I think she missed
No, she missed the 6. She went from 12th place to 93rd place in one hole. Normal sport.
Oh, yeah, I saw her putting. Okay, I saw her putting for triple. Yes. Okay. Wow. Not good. That kind of stinks. She was. I mean, yeah, obviously
7. How many? I wonder. Justin Ray probably has this. I wonder how many people have won a men's or women's major with a quad on the card.
Well, it's only. I mean, major or not. It's only happened like twice in the men's game, right? Tom Kim did it.
Was that was at all not just first round?
Oh, yeah.
Or first, yeah. I don't either.
Was it his first?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It was like first hole or something like that.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was more specific than that. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
but I imagine it's not many. All right, let's look at the odds board, please, Josh. No respect for our buddy Jonas Blixt, who leads the golf tournament and does not even appear on the stage. Yeah, 30-1. Cam Young there. We knew that was coming, just didn't know the number. 4-1, your favorite. Adam Schenk at 9. Smalley, low-key Smalley, 5 under par, 16-1. Power, 18-1. Denny at 20, along with Nate Lashley and a couple of guys behind. I'll tell you what, Smalley's been really good. He's at 5. Let's see what he did today. Yeah, drove it well. Didn't even hit it all that well, which is something he's been doing well lately. That's not bad. He's been playing a lot better.
Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like Shank at 9. I don't love Cam Young at 4. He putted outstanding. He's not going to do that all 4 days. I kind of don't hate Henley at 25. I wish it was a little longer just because I didn't feel great about where he stood after the way he hit it. But I don't hate that. I'm intrigued. I would like it a lot more if it was 35 than 25. But yeah, that one's interesting.
Probably should mention Seamus Power very early this morning shot a 66 in which he finally played well on approach, which is the one last thing for his game to come back around is what we were looking for.
It's kind of a big one.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the one that you're waiting for it to come back. Yeah, that's like waiting for Steph Curry's 3-point shot to come back. Like,
if he could just complete passes, he'd be Dak would be great.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do. Just complete that. All right. If anything else, I mean, we should just go. We should just go watch the ladies now.
Yeah, pumped about Pebble tonight. Gonna go get some dinner and then I think settle in. Watch a little Peb prime time. Stay up late. I mean, we talked about this on Thursday or on whatever yesterday. You and I don't get to just watch for fun, really. And I mean, if Rose shoots 61, I'm going to have to write about it, but probably won't do a ton off of the first round of the U.S. Women's Open.
Hopefully she just shoots like a 66 and just like puts herself in it. And
be great. Love it.
We can all just have a good time. All right.
I hope she shoots like 466s. That would be.
If she wins, it's going to be.
Oh,
it's going to be nuts.
I tweeted her. I mean, we've been talking about this. 20 starts in college, 20 top 20s, 20 top 20s and 20 starts, 19 top 10s, I think it was, and 12 wins in 20 starts. That's a joke.
Is that good? Yeah, it seems okay. Seems decent. And it's not like she played down at Springfield Juca. I don't know. I went with Springfield for so many of them, right? I felt like I could get away with that.
I thought of the first school when you went down that road was Sam Houston State. I don't know why.
Sorry, Sam Houston State.
Yeah, I don't know if they have golf. I don't know what that's. Yeah, she won more than Tiger in 6 fewer events at Stanford in a probably, I would argue, a harder per capita era to play in.
Yeah, probably. It's probably true.
Sick.
All right, we're off to USA to watch the ladies on Pebble Beach. We'll be back on Friday, Saturday, Sunday to discuss everything else that's going on in the world of golf. Producer Josh, thank you very much. All the hard work behind the scenes. Kyle Porter, available on Twitter at Kyle Porter CBS. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.